Here's a fun little secret about Microsoft, something that's been going on for decades. Imagine you're fresh out of orientation, ready to start your new job, eager to impress. Then, one of your new co-workers casually mentions, "Oh hey, you've got a meeting with the boss in Building 7. You don't want to seem clueless on your first day, so off you go, hunting for Building 7. But there is no Building 7. That's right, since 1985, this prank has been played on countless newbies of Microsoft's campus. Building 1 through 4, real. Buildings 5 through 6, totally legit. Then they built 8, 9, and 10, complete with a courtyard and fountain. But what about 7? It just never happened. Why? Well, maybe they got too busy, or maybe it's just one of those weird things that stuck around. And now it's part of the company's culture, a fun rite of passage. And here's the real mystery. What if there's actually a reason Microsoft never built a Building 7? In today's video, we're going to explore the massive Microsoft campus and see how they turned it into one of the biggest tech hubs in the world. Have you ever wondered what it's like to step inside the heart of one of the world's biggest tech companies? Let us take you on a journey through Microsoft's incredible headquarters, because it's not just any corporate campus. Back when Bill Gates and Paul Allen were dreaming big, they didn't start in some fancy high-tech office. They picked a chicken farm in the suburbs of Seattle, Redmond, Washington, to launch their company. Fast forward to February 1986, and that chicken farm transformed into 6 buildings that would become the first Microsoft campus. Now, a quick question for you. Can you imagine starting something so big on a chicken farm? And here's the thing, those 6 buildings were just the beginning. At that time, Microsoft had enough space for only about 800 employees. That's it. Today, Microsoft's campus stretches across 500 acres. We're talking 120 buildings and space for 50,000 people, and that doesn't even count the visitors. And what started as a small setup has now grown into a tech empire that spans over 8 million square feet. But it didn't happen overnight. So, how did Microsoft go from 6 buildings and 800 people to creating what's essentially a mini-city? Well, back in the day, they were total nerds, in the best way. Instead of giving their buildings fun names, they numbered them. Building 1, Building 2, Building 3, you get the idea. But as Microsoft grew and evolved, so did the creativity. Now they've got buildings with names like High Five Hallway, Maker's Garage, and even Bill Lake. They've come a long way from those numbered buildings. So, next time you hear the name Microsoft, remember, it's not just a tech giant, it's a place where over 50,000 people are pushing boundaries every day, in one of the most innovative spaces on the planet. Let's have a look into its history before we move ahead. In January 1985, Microsoft was still a growing company at the time, and they made a big decision to move its headquarters from Bellevue to a nearby place called Redmond. But why Redmond? Well, Microsoft had its eye on a 29-acre plot of land, and what they did next changed the company's trajectory forever. On August 9th, construction kicked off. Less than a year later, by February 1986, Microsoft was ready to move into their brand new $25 million campus, just weeks before their first ever public offering. That's right, the company was gearing up for its massive IPO, and this move to Redmond was a statement of their growing ambitions. But not everything was smooth sailing. Local residents started to worry about traffic jams, especially with the State Route 520 freeway still under construction. If you've ever driven during peak hours, you know the pain. Microsoft knew this too, and guess what? By the year 2000, after a lot of lobbying and even helping fund the project, a new freeway interchange was built just for their campus. 6 buildings spread out over 30 acres, enough space for 800 employees. And as the company boomed, so did the campus. By 1988, there were 1,400 employees on site. Before all this tech revolution, that very land was once home to chicken farms back in the 1920s. Microsoft didn't own the land outright at first, they actually leased it from a pension fund manager. It wasn't until 1992 that they bought the campus back, securing their place in Redmond for good. In the early 90s, Microsoft was on the verge of something big. The company was rapidly growing, and the Redmond campus was about to get its first major expansion, 1.7 million square feet of office space spread over 260 acres. That's massive. Microsoft made a bold promise to keep most of its future growth within Redmond, with a few offices in downtown Bellevue and Factoria. But then, something unexpected happens. Redmond's campus gets overrun by rabbits. Yes, you heard that right. Hundreds of rabbits. These little guys spread across the area, creating quite the headache. And to top it off, the city of Redmond places a moratorium on development, which means no more expansion for the time being. By 2001, Microsoft had big plans again. They wanted to build a satellite campus in Issaquah for 12,000 workers, but things didn't quite go as planned, and the scale of the project got reduced. They even considered expanding in Seattle's South Lake Union, but that idea got shut down too. In January 2006, Microsoft made a move. They bought out Safeco's Redmond campus after Safeco shifted to Seattle University District, and just a month later, Microsoft announces something game-changing. They're expanding the Redmond campus by a whopping 1.1 million square feet. That's $1 billion investment right there, set to create space for anywhere between 7,000 to 15,000 new employees. Alright, let's cut straight to the heart of it. When you think Microsoft, you probably imagine software, Windows, maybe even Xbox. But today, we're not talking about that. We're talking about behind the scenes, right into Microsoft's heart, Building 92. Now, why Building 92? Well, if you ever get the chance to visit Microsoft's campus, this is where your adventure begins. It's the Microsoft Visitor Center, a place designed to blow your mind with the best of what Microsoft has to offer. From innovation to history, this place sets the tone for everything you're about to experience. Microsoft's campus is huge. We're talking 120 buildings spread over 500 acres. And let's be honest, trying to walk all that is a workout nobody asked for, especially when you're here to explore. So, what do? Enter these slick mini hybrid buses. You hop on and you're cruising in style. High-tech features everywhere, super comfortable, and yet totally designed to make you feel like you're in the future. These buses give you the perfect tour, making sure you see everything while staying relaxed. Oh, and here's the cool part. There's this poster on the bus with QR codes. You can rate your tour right there from your seat. It's like Microsoft's way of saying, hey, how are we doing? Let us know in real time. Once you step inside Building 92 at Microsoft, you're not just walking into a building, you're stepping into a story of how a tech company went from an idea to shaping the world we live in today. And what better way to experience that than by visiting their museum? You'll see some of Microsoft's most game-changing moments, the launches that made them a household name. And these aren't just boring plaques with dates, no. The stories behind these milestones will have you wondering, how did they pull that off? Maybe tech history isn't your thing. That's cool. You know what you can do instead? Hop on and play some of the best games out there, like Forza Racing or Minecraft. Now, if gaming isn't your jam, don't worry, you can take a different route. And before you leave, here's a little tip. Head over to Microsoft's apparel store. If you're into stuffed toys, keychains, t-shirts, or even shoes, they've got something that'll catch your eye. Just like the famous Hollywood Walk of Fame, Microsoft has its own version, right outside Building 16. But instead of celebrities, each panel on their Walk of Fame celebrates the launch of one of the most innovative and incredible products. These aren't just random products. Every single one marked a milestone in Microsoft's incredible journey to success. Now, speaking of success, here's something that might surprise you. Microsoft ranked number 21 on the 2020 Fortune 500 lists of the largest US corporations by revenue. That's pretty impressive, right? But what's even more interesting is how they got there. We talk a lot about work, productivity, and tech, but let's discuss something a bit more personal. You ever wonder where some of the biggest power couples met? Here's a little-known story about one of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates. And no, it's not about tech or business. It's about something more relatable, relationships. It all started in Building 8 at Microsoft HQ. Late nights, quiet offices, and two people staying long after everyone else had clocked out. You can probably imagine it. Bill, the brilliant mind behind Microsoft, would quietly watch his colleague, Melinda, working late, just like him. He noticed her routine, the way she focused, how she stayed dedicated. And one day, when the office was empty, he decided to make his move. Imagine the nerves, right? But Bill, being Bill, simply asked her out. And guess what? She said yes. The rest, as they say, is history. If anyone ever invites you to Building 7, just smile and politely decline. Why? Well, it doesn't exist. Seriously, it's like the Bigfoot of buildings. Now, there are a bunch of wild theories out there. Some say it got lost in a government permit shuffle. Others, they think they just forgot to label a Building 7 altogether. And here's the best part. it's actually become this inside joke that people love to play on newcomers. It's the home of top secret research. We're talking about the kinds of projects that make you wonder, wait, should I even be hearing about this? We don't know for sure if visitors are allowed in, but what we know is enough to raise some eyebrows. Ever heard of the Department of Human Data? Yeah, it sounds as Orwellian as it gets, and get this, they've got a noise-suppressing anechoic chamber in there. What is that? A room so quiet you can hear your own heartbeat. Yeah, kinda eerie, right? Building 87 is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but for tech and software. It's got that same mysterious vibe. And don't worry, no one's getting eliminated here. Welcome to the Maker's Garage, the place where engineers don't just work, they experiment. It's not your typical workspace, and honestly, you'd be surprised. You might think engineers spend all day here glued to a screen, tweaking codes or soldering wires, but here it's different. Microsoft has flipped the script, giving their people access to everything they need to bring their wildest ideas to life. Laser cutters, 3D printers, soldering gear, you name it. It's like a playground for anyone who ever wanted to build something real. You'd be amazed to know that this place has soccer fields, basketball courts, and even volleyball nets. Engineers here don't just innovate, they get out, shoot hoops, and play soccer. There are even ping pong and pool tables scattered around. Kind of like a university campus where creativity flows both inside and out. Let's talk about Microsoft's Commons Mall, a massive 2-story building that covers 1.4 million square feet. And when we say it has everything, we mean everything. You feeling sluggish? No problem, just grab a coffee. Hungry? They've got food options for days, including local spots, thanks to a cool new initiative supporting small businesses. And this isn't just a food court. Need a haircut? They got you. Your bike broken down? No worries, get it fixed while you're there. Looking for some new clothes? Yeah, you can shop too. But there's one thing you won't find. Any guesses? Yeah, no iPhones or MacBooks here. Turns out Microsoft and Apple aren't exactly besties. So, you're a Microsoft employee and your day is about to get a whole lot easier. No need to stress about commuting or juggling multiple transfers. Microsoft's got you covered with their exclusive commuter service, Connector. Here's how it works. Connector is a private express bus service that takes you straight from Microsoft's Redmond campus to neighborhoods in Seattle, the East Side, and even Snohomish County. The best part? You don't even have to deal with the stress of public transportation. Just hop on, sit back, and enjoy onboard Wi-Fi. Yeah, you can literally check your emails or binge your favorite shows during the ride. Connector isn't some brand new idea though. Microsoft actually proposed this service back in 1998. The need was clear. The campus was growing and public transit just wasn't cutting it. Fast forward to September 2007 and Connector was officially launched. Within just 2 years, it expanded to 19 routes. Can you believe how fast it grew? Now, what's even more interesting? You're probably thinking, isn't this just for Microsoft employees? Well, yes, but there is more to the story. By 2017, Microsoft had worked out a permit system with Seattle, allowing their buses to use King County Metro bus stops. This service, it didn't just benefit Microsoft employees, it reshaped how tech employees in the area commuted. And there's even a bit of drama. Back in 2014, these shuttles became a target in protests, symbolizing gentrification, much like what happened with the tech buses in San Francisco. Microsoft also runs something called the Shuttle Connect for quick trips between buildings on campus. It's like having a private campus chauffeur. The service ties everything together, making life smoother and stress-free. Let us introduce you to the high five hallway. It's pretty simple. Just smile and get high fives to everyone you see. Sounds fun, right? But avoid it on a bad day. Because let's be honest, who's in the mood for high fives after starting the day with burnt toast or even worse, waking up to your dog pooping in your bed? Yeah, it's not exactly high five energy. So, there you have it. A fascinating journey through Microsoft's incredible campus. Now, here's a thought to leave you with. What do you think is the real reason behind the infamous Building 7 prank at Microsoft? Was it a clever joke, or is there a deeper story that we don't know about? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for more intriguing tech stories. See you next time.